Hello, shalom, hi. Uh, it's Eva from Sweden. I live in Sweden, and this is Saturday, you know, somewhere, somewhere on the first half of August 2022. And I have felt, I have experienced some of this with the tribulation that will come. We are not in the worst of the tribulation. God have told me, or heaven. Now I don't really know if it's God or if it's someone in heaven that tell me. If I know when God is coming here and talk, sometimes when I'm recording my podcast, that I can feel him over my head and going down from over my top of my head chakra, it's called. I remember now, it's called chakra, and then it's going down my whole spine. And that is when God is coming. And I don't see any body of him, because he is spirit and not the body. And so I don't know sometimes now when I hear something from heaven, who it is that is talking to me. But one time, heaven, I say heaven, because when I don't know who they are, I say heaven gave me this information that the tribulation have started, and it started 2019. I suppose it was in the end of 2019, because of that we get COVID-19 in that time. That's why it's called COVID-19, because it was 2019 it come. So it was not 2020, and then it should be COVID-20, but it's 19. And so it started with COVID-19. So in some way will the tribulation be in how it started. We're gonna get very much waves of health issues that is gonna be very much disturbing. That one is on the field, two is on the field, and one die, and one is still here. About that, it's gonna be, and it's what they say in the beginning. They say this like a prophecy, that you will see many that you know that is close to you is going away, that going to die of this COVID-19, they say, but it's many other things that will come. Now with it, polio also have started to rise, and this monkeypox and other parts, and other sorts of COVID, and more will it come. So as as I was told that it was 2019, and what it was not much that was going on in 2019. So that seems like it is what it started with, and it's going to be more of it. But it's also other things that will happen, and today was it a very it was much tribulation for me today, and it's only like a forerunner. It's gonna be like that later on also, and to most of us is gonna be. Today it was this that I have had a problem with the internet for some weeks now, and that's, I don't know if I have told you that I changed my provider, and it seems like my new provider is more up to date, and but I have to pay for it. That is so that can make me angry, because I feel like it's stolen money from me, because I have to protect me so much, and I have to pay for this little money I have in my retirement for to could be on internet and could work. You know, I am web designer, and I try to do many things on internet for God, for heaven, and I do this DNA research, and I am many hours per day on internet, and now it have been for some weeks, it have going down the internet, and I have to do like troubleshoot it, and then it's coming back again, and after 5 minutes is it down again, and then I saw that on my telephone it was saying that I have a guest on my telephone, and you know, I'm by myself. I don't have anyone. I don't have any in my home. I don't have friends that I could like borrow, giving out access to my internet. I don't have that. And today I saw suddenly that I had two going in, two internet going into my Wi-Fi, and so it was the same number as mine main what I pay for, and then it was the same number, but it says 2 after. It was a space, and then it was 2, and I saw it that was on, and so I could go into my computer and block it, and took it away. And I told the provider that's not right, that someone else can come in on my internet, my private. I share internet with many, but I have my Wi-Fi that make me, it's only me that get it in the internet. It should be, but I had someone have taken internet from me, and when this program, I think it's a program that make it, and when the program is on, then my internet go down and stop working. So I could stop it. So that show that I own two internet in my home, and so I close it and I look at it many times now to see so it doesn't turn on this internet hack. So and I call the police because I'd be frustrated, angry about that, what people are doing, and they maybe crash everything I have and steal everything from me. My work for God, they steal it from me. For example, I am most worried about the work I have done for God. It's been stolen, and I know it have been stolen, many of it. My podcast, it doesn't reach people as it did from the beginning. So something stopped it. But some of you are still here, so I am tired now. I'm so old, I start to be tired. So I know it's error on my podcast. So, but I don't. I think that one day I'm going to check it out. I have talked to those that have the platform that something is wrong, because I could have 350 people listen at my podcast, and now I should be happy if I have 10 people listen at it. So something is wrong. It's something have blocked it. And I look at it once for 2-3 months ago, and I could see them. And I told them the platform I was on, and not, it was Podbean, that I have lots of listeners, and then suddenly it was flat, no one listened. And then I look at it, the podcast, and I read. I could go in and see the code for my podcast. And then I saw there was saying it was direction to another, it was direction to a company, a business on my podcast, and I don't have any business. I don't want to get money for the work I do for God. Just now I need more money than I get from my retirement, but that is not to pay, it's donation, it's free giving if it's someone that want to support me in going to Israel and fulfill my ancestors, complete it. They come from all the tribes in Israel and was splitted up and going all over the world, and they never come back. They died where they were in other countries, and now I take them back because they are in my DNA. And I don't know if what will happen if the DNA can stay in Israel. If I die, then the DNA is there in Israel. but I hope that I will live in Israel, and maybe I can open the Golden Gate, and then it changed everything. If I could do that, they it was Muslim that closed that gate, and everyone think Messiah is coming there, and it should change very much if I can open that door. And so in the worst the worst things that can happen is that my DNA stay in Israel. There my ancestors' DNA stay in Israel because I die. But I'm going to be thinking about when I am in Israel that I'm going to place my DNA around in Israel. That I can do in many ways, like spit somewhere, there my DNA going in a spit of people. No, I'm not going to do that. It's fun to think like that. I can spit in a paper and lay it somewhere. I'm thinking I'm going to the wall, the veil, the western wall. And there is it. I did that once before. Put in a paper in the wall. And then they take that all those paper that is in the wall. They take those paper and they dig it down in the Mount of Olive. So my DNA was there already, but the difference from other times I have been to Israel is that I know now that I belong to Israel, that I was Jewish. And it says so much that I was in this museum of science, the Friends of Science, those that help in Israel and Palestine to build it up after the war, and this so they can come back. That's the difference. Is if you ask if what is the difference from that you have been in Israel 3 times before and you have placed a DNA in Israel. That I tell you that different is that I know that I am Jewish. That I didn't know when I was in Israel before. And then I know about my ancestors, that they come from many different tribes. They come from Middle East. They were in Iraq and Iran, and because they were like slaves there for a time, and there was babies born there that belonged to me. I know for early from my DNA result that I have a famous singer, rap singer, a female that is born in Lebanon, and she is in my DNA. So I have in the Middle East also, in other places than Israel, but I will come back there this time and know what I'm doing this time with my DNA. And it was something I was talking about something before I start to talk about Israel, but I don't remember it. I went too far away with talking, and then is it also a spirit that have targeting me very, very much now? So I called the police about this, about the internet, but they didn't do anything. It says on their website that we should call when it's something on the internet going on, but they only write up what I have say and then say that they couldn't do so much. So that's what when I talk about the tribulation is this, that I experienced today, that I call the police and the police say they couldn't do anything about what's going on, the crime that is going on, and they're going to be like that. And then it was also the tribulation, sign of tribulation was that I didn't want to be on the internet so much today. So I watched ordinary television, and there was nothing to watch because I have bought some channels that is on internet, but now I had to close the internet, and so I sit and watch, and it was about opera singer and he was Jewish. Trauber was his name, and he have heard with Hitler when Hitler come, and they took all his. He was famous singer, and he had to run away, and Hitler took all his money, everything, and he had to start over again. And they were talking about that he when he was so famous, so it doesn't be so bad for him because people all over the world wanted to hear him, and he got money from to be perform. He was in Australia, for example, in South Africa. He was singing, and he got the money back, and he spent the money, and he spent it so much, so he spent it on people around him also. And I understand what if he was thinking like that, but I think that he did that because he lost all the money. Twice he had lost money in his life. Everything, his property, everything was gone because Hitler come, and he lived in first he in Poland, I think he was in, and then he ran away to Österreich, Austria, and built up a life there with a house and everything, property. But then come Hitler to Austria also, and he had to run away, and he left for United States. He was living in England and in the United States. He was on his run the whole time, and he spent the money, and I understand that when he lost everything, not his life but his everything of money twice, and the third time it's no idea to store up money. That was what maybe he was thinking like that when you lose everything. And I feel, I think like that because I have lost. I don't know how many times I lost everything, but not my life, but everything I own. I 7-8 times like that in my life. So the money in that way doesn't matter for me. I don't have a beautiful home. I have nothing of value in my home. If I go to Israel now in November and in some way I decide to stay in Israel, I can only, okay, bye-bye with everything here in my home because there is no value. I bring with me my computers. That's the only of value for me. Other things, nothing. Because I have never could build up anything. It had been stolen from me. So it was a question I had. I was hoping a spirit should come so I could get the answer from a spirit. But now I have forgotten. I haven't forgotten what it was for a question I had today to a spirit. But something I have not told you about this, that I ended this with this man, opera singer. But this is the tribulation sign of it, because I am almost sure that they're gonna win this party here in Sweden that is Nazis. I am wondering why do they this party do commercial for them, and then those other parties is not doing commercial. They do it like they have already win, and it's not going to be immediately that they are going targeting us that is Jewish. They are targeting first Muslims that lives here, and maybe dark-skinned people. So I think we're going to be in the third place to hunt. And the fun thing is that, fun and sad thing is that I check it out. The leader of this party, he is Jewish, because he is connected with me, because he was born only maybe 1 hour from here, to drive with a car 1 hour. He was born just here in this area where all my ancestor was, and I saw that we were connected, and he is almost black hair, and dark. He's dark in his color, so he is And they say Hitler was also Jewish background, but they don't see it. They don't see it in that way because they are out from everything. They are untouchable. You can't touch them, and it doesn't matter what they are doing. If they're doing many wrong things, they are saying wrong things, but it's not they. They are perfect. They can never do anything wrong. So they don't see themselves as Jewish. They, I don't think no one dare to tell them that they are Jewish background, because it's gonna be like we say here in Sweden, to pour water on a ghost. It's going off. It doesn't hit them. So that's nothing to do. But it's very interesting to know that he is Jewish and doesn't like and have Hitler as an idol. So it's one of these tribulations. They go into hunt, and there is going to be groups all over the world. That now the spirit have started to talk. The spirit it start to talk about this. It's going to be this hunting. They're going to be like elite. It's those top people that seem they. It was the spirit that affected me to say this about that they are untouchable, because now she is saying this, that it's gonna be like that in tribulation. There is groups will be in many ways in all over the world. In their country, just in their country is a special group that's gonna be like they know everything. They are über alles. They are over everyone. They are top. They see themselves as top people, and they going after those that is not agree to it. And we have already seen that when it's come to abortion, for example. I say it now. I'm not going to talk about abortion, but I say this one thing, because I have not said it before, that the doctor, we have the doctor, and the doctor is for life. The doctor should never kill. The doctor is for to save life. There is in Indiana state, I heard it in the morning, that it's homosexual people in the news here in Sweden, and they don't like this, that stop of abortion there started to be in United States, because they want to do whatever they want to do. They want to stay over the law, or stay all over the rules, because what they thinking and what they are doing is the right thing. They think like that. And when they say at the news this, it immediately I got it in my mind that the doctor is for life. the doctor is not for to die, to kill someone. They kill babies, and that was not what they were were in the school for to do. And so that's in Indiana they say that those doctors that do abortion of babies, they're gonna lose the license to be a doctor. And that's right, because what they were what they were doing, working for to do, were to help people to live and not to be killed. So that's what I'll say. This spirit is it that do these things to me now. I don't know why it sounds like this now. Oh, it's very much on me. So I wonder what it's gonna be. It's the spirit is showing me like a deep, dark cliff. It's going down in it's be a darkness, a deep darkness is going to be. So that it's what she is have affect me with to this with the tribulation time. And I admit that I felt very stressed of that someone have closed down my internet the whole time. It was attack. It was attack, and I couldn't do anything more than to work against it on my own, and I have to pay money for to get all the protection, and that was money that I needed to have to Israel. And I know that the devil the devil have done the same before. In other times when I have traveled in God's will, the devil have trying to take the money from me so I can't travel, and that's what she is doing now also, because I have to pay for this protection monthly fee, and I have to change the provider also to more expensive provider. And but I know that when you know that should I say what I was on my way to say, or should I say what the Spirit want me to say? Now the Spirit took it away what I should say, and now it's the Spirit have the control over me now. And it's about this very important thing. It's about this Archangel. She want me to tell you about these Archangels, that you should not ask for the archangels in like you ask for Jesus or you ask for God to help you. The archangel is very special tools that we have, and I experienced that. I learned because when I did that, I learned when I was very sick before 2015. I prayed to the archangels. I didn't pray to them, but I prayed to God to send the archangels. And there is 7 archangels. And so I had 4 archangels to ask, and it was these archangels that come to me when I was on my way to die, when I was in a hospital, after I have been to Africa. And after that, when I saw them standing for the 4 corner in the room, then when I had a visit of spirits that I thought was evil spirits, so I was frightened. I didn't know who they were, and I was thinking like everyone else is thinking that doesn't know the spirits, the spirit world, that they were evil. And I asked the archangels to come. I asked God to send the archangels. But when I did that, and it got worse, it was very hard. It was very much power in it, and I make the spirit world to have a war, fight, really fight between them, between evil and good world, and that make it, I get it very hard on my body, and it was not good to ask for that. So I learned that those archangels is only to ask for when it is about your life. If you are on your way to be killed, when you're standing in a corner and someone strangle you, then in your mind you ask God to send the archangels to come and help you. But not in other cases. It must be very, very, very frightened things that is almost to kill you. Then you ask for them. They are special angels, and they are not to come every time you have some problems. They are not there. It's special angels that is very rare that they should come. There is other angels to ask for to get help, and you should not be like God and choose on your own what angels you want to come. It's only to ask God to send his angels, but you should not be specific who it will be. You ask God for help to send his angels, and then he choose what angel you need for that situation. So this spirit want me to tell you, because it can be very dangerous to call for the archangel in whatever problem you have. And I learn. I never ask for the archangels. I have asked for the archangel when I have lain in the hospital and don't know if I should live or not. That's when I have done it, but not in ordinary life. If there is some problem, it's to ask God to help you solve the problems, and he will send you help, either from a person or one of his angels. So she's leaving because that's what she wants me to talk about. See if I find out what it was I was on my way to say, well, before she wanted to say these things to you. So it's I know I am not going to get help from people about this with Israel. That I saw today, I have some friends on Facebook that is live broadcasting, live broadcasting from Israel, and they walk in the streets in Jerusalem, and when they walking and showing these streets, then I can see that it doesn't going to work for me to drive with my scooter on the sidewalks, because they don't care about it, those that built in the streets in Israel. And it's only it can standing a pole just in the middle of the sidewalk, and then I can't drive, and then I have to find out a way to come down from the sidewalk and out in the street in the traffic. And I saw it was some edges on the sidewalks was very high, and I can't drive down there. It must be really flat to could drive out on the street with a scooter. So it is impossible. I have to walk. But in the same time, I'm thinking that when the first time I come to Israel, and as soon as the airplane hit the ground in Israel, I was healed, temporarily healed from my sickness. I was healed, and it can happen that I be healed as soon as the airplane touched the ground this time also. So it seems like I need to walk in Israel, and now I try to find if there is a help organization I can call, ask to come and help me to walk with me to some places in Israel. But it's like I test people in Israel now, if they want to help me, because I know they can help me if they want, but they don't do it. I have asked some of those people that I know that live in Jerusalem, and but they don't have any answer for me how I could do it, my walk. I know I can take a taxi uh, in Jerusalem to those places where I want, that I know God want me or my ancestor want me to have, want me to visit those places, but that's money. It's money it's money to pay for the taxi drives, or else I could do it even if it's dangerous. Most of them is Arabic people um, that drive the taxi, like it is in other countries also. In Sweden, it's most only Arabic people that drive the taxi. So in Israel, but it's about money. It's always about money, these things. And if they want me to do their will, then they will make me come into Israel. That's an issue. But I read that they do this COVID test on the airport. They can do that. So I hope it is like that when I'm coming to Israel, that they see that I'm okay, I don't have COVID-19 with me or something else. But I have taken the test, and it's not so nice to have it up in the nose and in the throat. Now it start to come thunderstorm. I hear the thunderstorm is rolling in here, so it's time for me to end the recording, because I don't like thunderstorms and I have to cut off electricity and like that. Prepare me for a thunderstorm in the night. Okay, thank you for listening, and God bless you. I love you and God loves you too.